You're watching Falcons Today by Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham, back with some fresh news and rumors for you guys when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. Coming up later on in the show, the Falcons have released their initial injury report heading into this weekend's game against the Saints. Also, Saints injury reports. So stay tuned. We'll get you caught up on everything you need to know on that front. But first, let's get started with a rumor. Could Atlanta trade for Browns running back Kareem Hunt? Of course, the Falcons thin at the running back position with Cordarrelle Patterson is the leader there, but he's kind of a hybrid player anyway, as a kind of do-it-all running back receiver type. And Kareem Hunt is, with his flaws off the field, certainly been a productive player for many years, first with Kansas City and now with Cleveland. Now, Hunt did request a trade earlier this offseason. That did not seem to go anywhere. Brown side of things, they don't want to trade him unless they get a decent offer for him. But I don't know if a decent offer really is going to come for a guy with baggage off the field. Here's Kareem Hunt for his career over the last few seasons with Cleveland. Last year, only played in 8 games. Did have 5 rushing touchdowns, though, and just under 400 rushing yards. Always been a good pass-catching back as well. 174 yards receiving a year ago. 2020, I should say, was his best season with the Browns. Almost 850 rushing yards and had 11 total touchdowns as well. He's a dynamic player, no doubt about it. And if you look at this Falcons running back room, it's not like Cordarrelle Patterson, Tyler Allgeier, and the rest of this group, Damian Williams, kind of a castaway that's bounced around for a few years now, is, lighting the world on fire. Kareem Hunt could certainly get touches in this backfield. Now, again, if you're Atlanta right now with kind of where you're projected to be this season, do you want to stunt a younger player's progress? And Allgeier, do you want to trade draft capital when you're looking to rebuild this thing? I don't know. Kareem Hunt's a 27-year-old running back. He's got a lot of mileage on those legs. I would probably steer clear if I was Atlanta. But, if you really felt desperate enough and you're like, okay, let's see if the Browns will bite, I'd throw a 6th-round pick to Cleveland. It's a running back position that doesn't have a lot of value, in my opinion, in today's NFL, unless it's one of those special backs. Hunt is good. He's not special, though. I don't think Cleveland would necessarily take this, but if they would, I'd be willing to part ways with the 6th to get Kareem Hunt because I do think he'd have a role on this offense. What do you guys think? Should the Falcons try and make a trade for Kareem Hunt? Type T for trade, type P for pass. Let us know down in the comment section of this video. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's show, so if you get hit with that ad break, scroll on down and reply to the pinned comment. All right, let's talk about Deshaun Watson, who Atlanta was one of the teams hunting for him earlier this offseason. They, of course, did not get him. Now, more information from that saga of, when the Browns ultimately landed him has come out, and just how close were the Falcons to getting Deshaun Watson? Here's a report from The Athletic, little snippet of that report here. While Atlanta was openly courting Watson, they were quietly shopping Matt Ryan. Kyle Smith, the Falcons' assistant GM, had reached out to counterpart in Indianapolis, Ed Dodds, wanting to gauge the Colts' interest in the 36-year-old. For the majority of their pursuit, most within the Falcons building assumed Watson was theirs. Smith was looking for a way to move the franchise's all-time leading passer. So based on this, the Falcons were kind of sneakily shopping Matt Ryan because they thought they were going to get Deshaun Watson. And if you look back and turn back the clock, remember we all thought it was either New Orleans or Atlanta. Carolina, Seattle, they had kind of fallen behind the wayside. And then Cleveland had been, reported publicly that they had been eliminated by Watson's camp. But then Cleveland gets back in because Watson pivoted to him, and we know why. They gave him a fully guaranteed contract. But once they crossed that line, they had to go ahead and trade Matt Ryan, which I don't think is that big of a deal because Atlanta was ready to enter a rebuild anyway, whether it was with or without Deshaun Watson. So now, moving forward, you got to see what happens this year with Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder, but also the Falcons projected to potentially have a top 5 pick unless they surprise people this year. You got C.J. Stroud, you got Bryce Young, couple of college quarterbacks that are expected to be top 5 picks. Who knows if a couple other players could emerge, but I'll be interested to see just how hard the Falcons front office scouts these two quarterbacks in particular, because I think they're the two best in college football, at least right now, when it comes to the NFL draft. I personally like Bryce Young more, even though he's a little bit smaller and maybe the mechanics aren't always perfect. I just trust him a little bit more than I do C.J. Stroud at this point, but we'll see how this college season plays out. If you had to pick, who would you pick? Type BY for Bryce Young or type CJ for C.J. Stroud? Right now, I would pick Bryce Young, but that could certainly change over time. Let me know what you Falcons fans think. If you could pick one quarterback, who would it be? And then what about Desmond Ridder? Is he the future? Do they already have their franchise quarterback in-house in the rookie out of Cincinnati? He certainly flashed some in the preseason. I'll be curious to see if he gets a real opportunity during the season. I've told you guys before on this show, I would start Desmond Ridder and just see what you have this year. And if it goes well, great. You build around him. If not, you draft C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, and you go from there. No big deal. Today's show is sponsored by BetUS, our sportsbook partner here at Chat Sports and at Falcons Today. And if you want to bet on Falcons games all season long, BetUS is the perfect place to do it. Go to chatsports.com/betfalcons to create an account today and plug in that promo code Falcons125 to get a 125% deposit bonus. $100 down, you get an extra 125 in free play. Nice to have that little buffer throughout the season. Betting odds for this week one matchup, Falcons 6-point underdogs. The over-under between the Falcons and Saints set at 42.5 points. So Vegas thinking a fairly low-scoring game. Chatsports.com/betfalcons to get that account going. Promo code Falcons125. Got to use our link. Got to use our promo code to get the 125% deposit bonus. All right, speaking of this game, the Falcons injury report has finally dropped as Atlanta had just 3 players on the injury report. 2 were limited. 1 was out with a personal issue. Parker Hesse, who just signed at the tight end position, he did not practice with the personal issue. We'll see if he's able to go tomorrow. Drake London limited with that knee injury, and then cornerback Darren Hall limited with a quad. Obviously, we all want to see the rookie London play this weekend against New Orleans. Want to see how he performs this year. Saints injury report, a little more crowded. Had to break it up into 2 categories. These 5 players did not participate at practice today. Wide receiver Traquan Smith dealing with a groin injury. Running back Dwayne Washington has a hamstring. Paul Adebo out with an ankle injury right now. Landon Young with the hip injury, the offensive tackle. Tanner Owen, another tackle. He was out with a personal situation, so we'll see if he's back tomorrow as well. Obviously, Trevor Penning not available for the time being. He's on IR. Michael Thomas limited with a hamstring. He's hoping to go, he says, this week. We'll see. Eric McCoy, the center, limited with a calf injury. Pete Warner limited with a groin injury, the linebacker, and then J.T. Gray, the safety, limited with a hamstring. 9 players in total on the Saints injury report, 4 limited, 5 were out, and then for Atlanta, just 3 players out. And hey, as an underdog, you'll take every advantage you can get if you are the Atlanta Falcons early on in the year. So we'll see how Sunday goes. We'll see how the injuries progress for each of these 2 teams throughout the week. Still 4 days until kickoff on Sunday, September 11th at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central Time as well. All right, who's ready? Football is back. The beauty of week 1, every team, every fan base feels like they have a chance this year. 0-0, everybody's starting equal. If you are ready for this matchup against the Aints, not the Saints, the Aints, type me down below. Let's go. Let's start quick this year, Atlanta. Rise up. Get those me's going in the comment section. And if you're a real one, you made it to the end of the video, so shout out to you. Type real one in the comments because it is roll call time here on Falcons Today. We'll keep you guys up to date with any notable updates between now and kickoff. Until then, go Falcons.